Hi, my name is Kori Retzius, and I would like to present to you some information on obesity, the topic that helped guide our observation and research. Obesity is a major health risk in America and worldwide. Obesity affects over 10% of the world's adult population. In 2008, 1.4 billion adults worldwide were considered overweight. Of those adults, 500 million of them were considered obese. In California alone, the obesity rate was almost 24% in 2011, and 2.8 million adults died each year from being overweight or obese. I observed two charts, one of which showed me obesity rates in America in 2011. Every state had an obesity rate of at least 20%. 11 of the states had an obesity rate of 30% or higher. The next chart showed projections of obesity rate in 2030 if obesity rates continue to rise. The projection showed obesity rates up to 60% of the entire population. Obesity is defined as having excess body weight in relation to lean mass. This means if your body weight is 30% higher than recommended or you have a BMI of 30 or higher, you are considered obese. BMI, or body mass index, is a measurement of body fat percentage. The calculation takes into consideration height and weight in order to calculate an acceptable body fat percentage. Obesity can be caused by many things. The main causes of obesity include diet, lack of exercise, genetics, and hormones. A proper, balanced diet is important in order to maintain a healthy weight. Eating too many calories or consuming foods high in fats and sugars can cause you to become overweight and lead to obesity. The lack of exercise can also cause a person to become overweight or obese. Exercise burns calories and sheds excess fat. Genetics and hormones can play a role in obesity by controlling the way your body processes calories or expends energy. Obesity can have negative impacts on health by causing many health conditions. Health conditions caused by obesity include heart attack, heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, stroke, and some cancers. To prevent obesity, you are helping prevent these diseases. You can prevent obesity by controlling your diet by eating a limited amount of calories and not consuming foods high in fats or sugars or processed foods. Also, get active. By playing sports with your friends or taking a trip to the gym, you are helping to burn calories and also not become overweight or obese. It is important to help prevent obesity to maintain your health. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.
Hi, I am Omar Sanchez, and I will be elaborating a little more on the background of obesity and how certain types of exercises can help with losing weight or gaining muscle mass. As my partner Kori just mentioned, obesity can lead to cardiovascular disease, diabetes, certain types of cancers, and obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA. The most effective way to avoid or eliminate obesity is through consistent physical fitness or training. Several doctors wrote an article in the Journal of the American Medical Association website called Fitness. This article describes different types of exercises that achieve the goal of avoiding obesity. These exercises concentrate on 5 components of fitness: cardiorespiratory endurance for the heart and lungs, muscular strength, muscular endurance, body composition, and flexibility. While conducting a survey in the Student Rec Center at Fresno State, we observed several types of exercise equipment that accommodate the 5 components of fitness. Free weights and weightlifting machines focus on muscular strength and muscular endurance. Cardio machines like the treadmill and the elliptical increase cardiorespiratory endurance. Mats were used for flexibility, and depending how the person wants their physique to be, any or all of these exercise equipments can be incorporated into body composition. These 4 types of exercise equipment can be associated with 2 different kinds of training: aerobic training and resistance training. Mats and cardio machines can be used for aerobic training, which improves lipid profile and insulin sensitivity. And free weights and weightlifting machines can be used for resistance training, which increases lean body mass and basal metabolism, and has beneficial effects on bone density and glucose tolerance. Lipid profile is defined as a panel of several blood tests that serve as medical screenings for cholesterol and triglycerides. And the results of this test can identify certain genetic diseases and can determine potential risk for cardiovascular disease. Insulin sensitivity is a term used to describe people who require relatively normal or low levels of insulin to process glucose. With consistent exercise, an obese person can improve their insulin sensitivity by losing weight. Therefore, his or her pancreas can return to producing normal amounts of insulin, which the body can use more efficiently. Losing fat to avoid obesity can be accomplished through either aerobic training or resistance training. So no matter which exercise equipment you decide to incorporate in your training, you will achieve the goal of maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Thank you.
My name is Melissa, and I will be covering the CHIS report for our presentation. CHIS is the California Health Interview Survey. With this database, I was able to generate 2 tables from the Fresno region comparing both male and female from the ages 18 to 25. This better represented our student population being observed at the Student Rec Center. With the 2 topics I used to compare was level of physical activity and their body mass index. From the male population, there was 3 levels of physical activity. There was no vigorous or moderate activity at all. There was some vigorous and moderate activity, but didn't ride their bike or walk to school or work. And then there was some vigorous and moderate activity and did ride their bike or walk to school and work. Under the underweight, normal, and overweight category, there was no data recorded because their sample size was less than 500. The total sample size was 46,000 with a confidence interval of 95%. Under the obese category for no vigorous and moderate activity, there was 30% recorded. Under the underweight category, there was 61% recorded for the some vigorous and moderate activity that didn't ride their bike or walk to school or work, and there was 38% recorded that did some vigorous and moderate activity and did ride their bike or walk to school or work. From the normal category, 50% was recorded that did some vigorous and moderate activity but didn't ride their bike or walk to school or work. There was 49% that did some vigorous and moderate activity and also either walked or rode their bike to school or work. Under the overweight category, 67% was recorded that did some vigorous and moderate activity that didn't ride their bike or walk to school or work. 30% was recorded that did some vigorous and moderate exercise and also either walked or rode their bike to school or work. In this category, 17% was recorded that did some vigorous or moderate activity but didn't ride their bike or walk to school or work. 51% did some vigorous and moderate activity and also did ride their bike or walk to school or work. From the total of the sample size of 46,000, only 10,000 of the obese under the obese category did any physical or did any vigorous or moderate physical activity. From the female population, the total sample size was 54,000 participants. Under the underweight category, there was for no vigorous or moderate activity, there was no data recorded, therefore stating that the sample size was less than 500. Under the underweight category, 40% was recorded that did some vigorous or moderate activity, physical activity, but didn't ride their bike or walk to school or work. 59% did some vigorous or moderate activity, physical activity, and also walked or rode their bike to school or work. Under the normal category, 20% did absolutely no physical or vigorous activity, 31% was recorded that did some vigorous and moderate activity, 48% did some vigorous or moderate activity, and also rode their bike or walked to school or work. Under the overweight category, 56% say that they didn't do any vigorous or moderate activity, 24% did some exercise or physical activity, and also either walked or rode their bike to school or work. Under the obese category, 42% was recorded that did absolutely no any moderate or vigorous physical activity. 16% did some vigorous and some moderate physical activity but didn't ride their bike or walk to school or work. And then 41% was recorded that did some vigorous and moderate activity either walked or rode their bike to work, school or work. From the total of this table, only 4,000 that were under the obese category did any vigorous or moderate activity compared to the 54,000 sample size. As we can conclude from both tables, both male and female, we can say that under the obese category that the majority did little to no physical activity whatsoever.
Hi, my name is Roxanna Petersen, and I'm going to be discussing the methods and procedures that our group used during our study. An observational study design was used to determine the difference between the type of equipment that men and women used while working out at the gym. Our observations took place at the Fresno State Recreation Center. Our observations were during the normal business operational hours of the Recreation Center. We observed men and women working out on the upper and lower levels inside the Recreation Center. This means that we excluded people working out in the fitness classrooms as well as on the track. The observations consisted of 1-hour time intervals. There were 3 separate days that we conducted observations with 2 observers each day. Monday, March 11th, Wednesday, March 13th, and Thursday, March 14th. On Monday, the observations were conducted from 12 to 1 p.m. and 7 to 8 p.m. On Wednesday, from 10 to 11 a.m. and 1 to 2 p.m. And on Thursday, from 11 to noon and from 5 to 6 p.m. The 2 different observers conducted their observations at different times using a convenience sample. We chose to observe at the gym on the top section of the rec center. From the upper level, we were able to look down and see who was working out at the different sections, as well as look around the upper level and decide who was working out on each section of the gym. Our data was broken up into 4 categorical points in the gym. First, the cardio section. Second, the free weight section. Third, the mats. And fourth, the other machines section. During our observation, we looked at how many men and how many women were on the treadmills and the bikes, for example, and then tallied those up at the cardio section. During the 1-hour observational time, each person conducted their observations in 20-minute intervals. For example, if you came in at 1 p.m., you would look at the men and women working out at 1 p.m., 1:20 p.m., 1:40 p.m., and 2 p.m. Our instrument, as well as protocols and methods, were pilot tested before for inter-rater reliability and found to be sound. We were able to observe a total of 1,507 students in the rec center. However, because some students may have been working out in different sections and during the whole full hour, there is some duplication of numbers. We had 24 different data points during the 3 different days that we collected our data. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Ben and I will be presenting on the results that our group collected while observing at the Fresno State Rec Center. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation. Table 1 shown here is an overview of all the data collected over 3 days of observation. Data was collected for a period of 1 hour, 2 times a day, on Monday, March 11th, Wednesday, March 13th, and Thursday, March 14th, for a total of 6 observation periods. During that hour, the observer counted the amount of males and females exercising in the cardio, free weights, machine weights, and mat section of the gym in 20-minute intervals. For example, if the hour was between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m., the observer recorded at 12, 12:20, 12:40, and 1 p.m. The 6 observation periods along with 4 times of data collection per observation, totals at 24 times in which data was collected. This table shows the date, time, and total count that each observer recorded during their hour of observation, along with the total count for all 6 observations. It is important to note that since the observer recorded in 20-minute intervals, some subjects may have been counted multiple times, depending on what area of the gym they were exercising in at the time of observation. Table 2, shown here, is the total amount of males and females that were counted within the 6 observation periods in the 4 areas of the gym that were being observed. The data results indicate that the majority of subjects exercising in those specific areas of the gym were male. Males made up 58% of the observed population, with a total count of 870, while females made up 42% of the observed population, with a total count of 633. Table 3 represents the total numerical amount and percentage of males that were recorded exercising in the cardio, free weights, machine weights, and mat section of the gym. The data shows that an overwhelming majority of those who exercise in the free weights and machine weights sections were male. Males made up 94% of those who exercise in the free weights section, 71% of those exercising in the machine weights section, 36% of those exercising in the mat section, and only 27% of those exercising in the cardio section. Table 4, shown here, represents the total numerical amount and percentage of females that were recorded exercising in the cardio, free weights, machine weights, and mat section of the gym. The data shows that the majority of those that exercise in the cardio and mat sections of the gym were female. Females made up 73% of those exercising the cardio section, 64% of those in the mat section, 29% of those in the machine weight section, and only 6% of those exercising in the free weight section. Once again, thank you for taking the time for listening to this presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Adriana, and I would like to conclude our group presentation by summarizing the key points researched on the issue of obesity and how the results from our study relates to this issue. Once again, there are more than 40 health conditions associated with obesity, as mentioned earlier by Kori. Here are the most prevalent obesity-related diseases. We have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and some cancers. Before I continue, I would like to ask a couple questions. First, how many of you ever considered the possible risks and complications that obesity can lead to? Now, how many have attempted to lose weight or have some kind of weight control? Now, in order to maintain a healthy weight, people seem to pay more attention to what they eat and forget about the physical activity and how it is also important to maintain our body weight. As discussed earlier by Melissa and Omar, exercise allows us to lose weight. Here are some of the exercises mentioned earlier: endurance, muscular strength, muscular endurance, body composition, and flexibility. After conducting our observational study at the Student Recreational Center at Fresno State, as Roxanna described to you earlier, we observed a population of approximately 1,500 students, male and female, and came up with the following results, as Ben already presented. We observed more males than females at the gym by 16%. Either way, some of the reasons why some males and females attend the gym is for weight control, muscle gain, stress relief, socialization, and to maintain a healthy lifestyle. After categorizing the different types of exercises performed at the gym, we came up with cardio, free weights, machine weights, and mats. From our results, we observed more males than females using free weights and machine weights. This is partly due to the fact that most males would like to gain more muscle more than females. Therefore, doing weights helps burn calories and build muscle. We also observe more females than males doing cardio and mat, partly because females are more concerned about their weight. Therefore, females do more cardio and mat exercises which help improve lipid profile and maintain a slim body type. In our study, we emphasize the importance of exercise to reduce and minimize obesity. From our study, we cannot say how many people actually go to the gym or are physically active, but our group believes that our study gives a good overview as to what type of exercises students are engaging in at the gym and how exercise contributes to the reduction of obesity. Any type of exercise will minimize obesity, burning the fat and calories, or converting it into muscle, which is much more healthier. Based upon our research and findings, obesity has become a critical issue in our society. In order to reduce and minimize obesity, one must not only watch what they are consuming, but also importantly maintaining some level of physical activity, whether it's a type of exercise mentioned from our study or any other type of physical activity that will help maintain a healthy body weight. Now, thank you for listening, and we hope this presentation has provided you with important information for your health and to reduce obesity and other diseases that may come about. Now, our recommendation to you is go out and stay active. Thank you.